It's not egoic of you to say who you are. When I say I am Nadiie, that's not egoic, because what comes with being Nadiie is powerful. Even if your name sounds like mine, what are words? Sounds. Who cares how it's spelled? If it's sounding the same, it's the same frequency. So, my mother purchased God's Plan for Humanity, a message from the mountaintop. Mind you, you know, so-called black people always got to say mind you. When we say mind you, the story about to get real juicy. Grab your popcorn. Make sure y'all buy this book. Support me, please. Tell your mama, tell your kids. This is something you should be teaching to your kids, your family, your friends. Tell them to buy it. Support real people. And also another consciousness is changing, because La Russell, you know, the independent artist, he's doing historic things too. Y'all know, do your research on that. Yeah, what's different about it? I'm interested. Oh, we got a real soul in here. He actually might buy it. Okay. You're interested? Okay. Listen to the story, and if you're still interested, then we'll chop it up. But just listen to the whole story, and then see if you're still interested. I'm gonna ignore that other person. I'm gonna just ignore it. That might be a bot. That other person. You know what's so wild? Really pay attention to that though. When we're about to really dive deeper into it, then that's when like those type people come. Y'all know, y'all see what I'm seeing, right? Just really, when I tell you pay attention to everything. Okay. So this, I gotta start from the very beginning. 07/01/25, I was scrub-a-dub-dubbing in the shower. Give you a little backstory of what I was doing before I got in the shower. I was trying to figure out how I can be spiritual and still be rich. Because I was like, God, you know what I'm going to do with the money, and you know my life right now. I got to have some money right now. So then, there was this process of God sending me, I'm talking about my algorithm miraculously changed to a money-making machine. And I was getting Myron Golden videos, this spiritual video. I'm talking about, I know, you know how they be saying the phone be listening and stuff like that. This is one of the few times where I'm happy the phone listened. Because it was sending me so much, but I know it was orchestrated by God, because algorithms typically are to keep you on the social media platforms, not give you techniques and developments to kick you off of it so you can go do your own thing and expand your own business. So that's how I knew this was godly, what was happening, because I was getting so much information from all of these wonderful teachers. Some of them I don't even know the teacher's name, but I'm right now send lots of light to those teachers. I don't know your name, but thank you, because you got me through. And then what I landed on was, Nadiie, you have to make a book. But you have to make a book that's not a book. So people can understand. This ain't no fucking book you're buying. This is literally, you found a way to actually put God's word on paper. God's word in writing. God's word in spelling. However you want to interpret it. But I was being sent thought forms that, Nadiie, how can you say that God the source is limitless if you aren't up to that challenge of being the first person on the planet to construct what some humans may call a product? It's not even a product, but just for human transcription, to construct a product so sound in Christ consciousness, so sound in Buddha consciousness, so sound in just the truth, that even if you gave it to a baby would start talking in full sentences like I did. And I'm going to talk about that too. Remember, a baby talking in full sentences like I did. Remember that. So this is all what was going on in my mind 07/01/25 before I got in the shower. And you know how they say when you pray or send divine statements in the shower, y'all know I'm cooking because my legs is crossed. When my legs is crossed, hey, we about to get deep. I was like, my legs is crossed. Hold on. But so I'm having all of these thoughts swirling in my mind. I'm like, I gotta get money. But the whole point is, I would like to get money and service people. I never want to just get money, but I can't service people. That's precisely why I'm literally talking to God like this. I'm talking to God like, that's precisely why I denied the Atlanta Records contract. That's precisely why I denied that one contract with the Jewish person that emailed me and all that. I got the proof and everything. That when I got targeted and everything. Like, y'all know about the targeting, and if y'all don't know, then I'm gonna piece everything together. So, because I'm gonna record all of this and put it out. But I got targeted by these beings. I got offered contracts by these beings. The whole nine. I could have been a rich and famous person, literally. But I denied those contracts. Some of them didn't even have money assigned to it, but I knew it had everything else. I knew the money was going to come, but I was like, I didn't feel right because I feel I'm not servicing. I don't want to receive if I'm not servicing. So I'm talking to God like this, and then God was like, be the first human on the planet that can construct something even when you're gone, even when you're not live, even when, whatever the case is, that somebody can go to what you produced, what you created, be enlightened literally forever. Remember, click link in bio, buy the ebook. This is the whole thing. Literally. These are the type of things. So then I went in the shower. So this is my frequencies. Remember, I'm watching these videos. I'm talking to God. I'm meditating before I got in the shower. Then 07, 01, 22. When I finally got in the shower, you know how they say your prayers and divine statements and everything in the shower is powerful. I re-looped the conversation because I was like, on the off chance that I don't fuck something up, I'm going to re-loop this conversation in the shower with the water. Because y'all say that the water is powerful, and I teach it. Y'all say that God does everything intentional. Well, why don't you think about why God made humans and the earth mostly water? You can't run out of water because water is the basis of your existence. So that's one of the reasons why the water is so important when you're saying divine statements in the shower specifically. Not your back to the water, because that's symbolic of something else. Your stomach on the water. This is the shower hose, and you're talking to it. You're literally talking to the source of the water. You're talking to the shower head with the water coming out. Everything has to be symbolic, and you have to be in a knowing of that. So I'm doing all of this. And then, zoom, make a book, make a book, make a book, make a book. Make a book? I ain't no author. I'm one of the coldest rappers in the world. Peep the essence of the awe, breathe freely. Handing out food for thought. They say I'm feeding the needy. Kids looking up to me. They saying they want to be me. To leave the hood because they spinning blocks like they a seedy. I'm God's will in the flesh, distant from the elitists. Why you think that God's gifts? Stop that Jesus. I'm pondering the next plan, implementing like geniuses. I don't care how they talk, walk the walk, can't beat it. God, I want to be a rapper. I don't want to be an author. I never made a book. I mean, when I was in high school, I made that one page of the story of my life, but that was like one page, and I still got that page in my Google Docs to this day. And I was like, after I made that one page in high school, I was like, making a book is too much. Way too much. But then I was like, I'm grown. I'm going to try. So I got out the shower when I got that call to make a book. And then I immediately started researching how a book is formed. Went on the internet, did some research. What are chapters? What are this? What is that? Then I went on ChatGPT. It was like, how do I make books? Why are chapters important? What is a header? What is a footer? What is this? What is that? What is how and the why? I got all the knowledge. I went downstairs, sat in my chair, looked at an empty Google Doc sheet, put my fingers on the keyboard. This was 07, 01, 25, and then 07, 02, 25. The next day, the book was done. How does a person that's ignorant, that's never been an author before, ignorant to making books, make a book this powerful, a so-called book this powerful in one singular day? That's nothing but a miracle. Then, I'm like, all right, how do I get the book to the people? So then God miraculously showed me this video of how to do it independently through like the Kit website. You would assign your PDF to the website, the link, And then you put the link in the link tree, and then they can purchase it from you directly. So they know it ain't going to no weird third party. They know exactly who it's going to. You put your email in, you get the receipt, I get the receipt, and I'm at the same time I'm making an email list, so I'm always going to have everybody's emails. So just if I want to send y'all free stuff or whatever because y'all supported me and on all of this, I can because I already got everybody's email and everything. So I'm like, oh, this is great. So then I was like, well, who do I tell first? I told my mama. Because that's what I do. When I create things, whether it's a book, whether it's music, I tell my mama. I told my mama ain't wait a second. I try to give it to her for free. She said, no, boy. No, boy. You said you're charging $55 for this book because the 55 is the symbol, the master symbol of transmutation, and numerology and symbology. 5 is for change. You in the description of the book, you laid out everything. You said if a person just purchases the book, the life is going to change because it's resonating at the 55 frequency. And you were intentional about it. You didn't just say, I want this much dollars. No, you said, I could charge 100, but no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to charge 55 specifically because it's a master number. And I'm intentionally putting the frequency of this entire website, of this entire book, of everything, to where if somebody purchases it, but then life happens and they don't have a chance to read it, they still want to get the same miracles. So my mom was like, don't give me this book for free. My mother, I'm going to purchase it. But boy, when I read it, it better be everything you are. My mom, she purchased the book, the first purchaser of the book. My mother. And I'm actually going to a wedding at the time. Remember I was telling you the boss of the company I work for the weddings, Emerald May Events. That's the company. Summer Green. I'm actually going to a wedding to do some wedding hospitality. That's what mamas do. Hey, ain't that right? Ain't that right? That's what mamas do. I'm actually going to a wedding, but the wedding is like in a few hours, and I'm just downtown because my wife dropped me off. So I'm just, listening to music, vibing, got some food, whatever the case is. My mama called me. My mama called me crying. What's going on? I couldn't even get through your book. I'm only 8 pages in. And y'all go read the testimony. Because when she called me, she said, read your text, read your email. My mama was on straight gangster timing. And just so you can get a little backstory on my mama, I seen my mama get shot when I was 1 year old. I remember this vividly. I thought it was like a dream or something like that. No, they said that literally happened. I'm on blood on my hands, 1 year old. Mama literally resurrecting. Mother got raped in the whole 9. Mother created a girl game to defend all women from getting raped and defend all women from some nasty men. My mother is a real gangster. I'm talking about had plugins with the GDs and everything. I'm talking about literally her street name was Taz, like the Tasmanian devil. My uncle, who was crazy, said nobody fuck with your mama, even me. My uncle fist fought my mama. Because he was like, no, that just ain't no woman. You don't know what we seen, Nadiie. Your mother is a real leader. She had her own girl gang. One of the biggest in Columbus. And they came after her too. Just so you get a little backstory of my mother. Really in the streets, really gangster, really like that energy. So you can kind of understand how I am based on my mother. And I've never said that publicly, but it's like people don't really understand me. So it's like, I got to tell you everything. You're like, damn, you seen your mother get shot at 1 year old? That's fucking traumatic. But we made it through. God's real. But so my mom, when she called me, she crying, she read your text, read your email. Because she sent me the testimony, the same testimony I posted on all the videos and stuff. I read it. And I told her, okay, I read it. I'm so very grateful. Thank you. I'm happy. You know me. I'm happy. I don't know what's about to happen on this phone call. I'm just like, I'm happy to be of service. You know me, bubbly, like the Teletubbies, all of that, right? Then my mama, she say, boy, let me tell you a story of how I knew you were going to be this. She said, boy, this book is so powerful. You need to get this translated in other languages. She said, boy, I'm only 8 pages in. This book is so powerful. You need to make sure you get this book translated in Braille. Because the blind need to know what my son is speaking of. I'm like, well, damn, my mom is... Be quiet. Let me tell you a story. You know that me and your sisters prayed over my stomach so we can get a boy. They've always told me that story. I at least knew that about my life. On some real anime. This is like canon moment. Real anime. Dragon Ball Z, whatever anime you like. I'm getting backstory on my life. No ego. My real life. Like 1-to-1 to any Christ. 1-to-1 with Jesus. 1-to-1 with any Christ. My real life. This is who I am. My mama was like, you know, me and your sisters, we prayed for a boy. You know, when I was pregnant, before we knew the gender and before the gender was even in the body, your 2 sisters, when they was kids, we all did a prayer circle and we all was like, God, please give us a boy. We did a deep prayer. And she was like, you know, there's something I haven't told you though. I did a separate prayer before me and your sisters did that one. And I told God, God, if you give me a boy, I will give you to him. I will give my boy to you, God. I will offer this boy to you, God. If you give me a boy. And she was like, Nadiie, you have to understand, I wasn't even supposed to have another child. You're my last boy ever. I can't have you're my last child ever. I can't have another child. I wasn't even supposed to have you. And then she was like, there's another reason I knew you were going to be this. This was way before I got pregnant. But God said, I'm not allowed to tell you. And I was like, this is getting very deep. Say that again. My mother was like, before I got pregnant, something happened. And I knew you were going to be this. This as in the Christ, this as in teaching, this as in this powerful thing. And she said, I'm not allowed to tell you though. And then she hung up. And I'm sitting with that, I'm like, that's interesting. And then I started to think, I was like, all the special children across all history, Jesus, Buddha, Martin, everybody. The mother had some type of spiritual experience. For example, in the Jesus story, the angel came to Mary to let her know what this child was going to be. I knew what my mother was talking about. My mother had an angel moment. But my mother had that moment. Raise this child this way. This child is going to be something that you can't mess it up. That's what my mama told me. Then, before she hung up, in the middle of that conversation, she was talking about how throughout my entire childhood, everybody knew I was special. Because when I came through the womb, I was very different. I wasn't like all the other babies. I was actually mute. For the very first year, I didn't speak anything. I don't even know if I was crying when I came out. My mother said I was mute. And she told me some more lore on my life, and she was like, "No, you have to understand when we say you were mute, it was mandatory, probably like the government or whatever, in the hospital or whatever, to take me regular scheduled doctor visits so they can understand why this child isn't uttering a sound." So that gets my brain. I was like, when I came through the womb, was I even crying? But my mother was like, I didn't say a single word. And then she said, when I was 1 year old, and she said that it shook the entire family. Yeah. And that's what I'm noticing too. Because also, just because you said that, Mary, when I was a teenager, I vividly remember going mute mode again. I took another vow of silence. And my whole family was like, this is what he did when he was a kid. And I was getting back to her. But then my mom fully explained it to me after she bought the book. She said when I was 1 year old, what shocked and shook the whole family was I wasn't like every other child that said like singular words or mama, dada, this and the third. She said when I started talking, it was full sentences. She said, Nadiie, you didn't have your first words. You had your first sentence. And I was like, whoa. She was like, yeah, this is who you are. Nadiie, you didn't have a first word. You had a first sentence. Shocked everybody because you just randomly decided this was the fucking day I'm talking. And then said a sentence so coherent, everybody was like, what? Not only can he talk, he's speaking. And then she said, what fucked everybody up was I was only speaking in full sentences around the family. And when I was out in the world, I went back to mute mode. And then my mom said, she said, you gotta look it up. Cause she's like, look up, there's this frog. She was like, back in the day when I was a kid, we had these cartoons and it was this frog. I forget who she said the frog was, but it's like an old, like Looney Tune type era, like even before that, like frog that a dude seen, and when he seen the frog pulled out a cane and a top hat and started singing, and went back to ribbit. And then the cartoon, she looked it up and she sent me it. And the dude was like money bag here, popped up in his eyes. He was like, I can make money. And then he took it. And then he invited everybody, talking frog, talking frog, talking frog. And then put the talking frog in front of the show. And then he'd never get it again. It was just ribbit. And then when everybody left, she said, literally, child, that's who you were. And she said, I had to constantly go to the doctor's office because everybody thought you had a problem and everybody thought I was crazy. She was like, boy, you were tripping me out. Everybody thought I was crazy because I kept saying, he knows how to talk. He knows how to talk. He just don't want to talk to you. And obviously, you're going to think this so-called black lady is crazy. Because what the fuck do you mean this 2-year-old child has the wherewithal and the knowledge to just choose not to speak and the discipline to just choose not to speak, but then you're saying he's speaking in full sentences? You sound crazy, mama. And she was like, then she said, out of nowhere, something clicked in me. And she said, I wouldn't stop talking. She said it was like magic. It was like something happened one day, and I was a kid. So this may be in the ages like 1 to 3. She's like, something happened one day, and probably even a little bit older. She was like, I just looked up and was talking about everything. She was like, it was so much. Not bringing anyone up. She was like, it was so much that she said, I'm talking about like literally like, that's a chair, and chairs is for this, and that's for this, and that's a wall, and this is this, and that's a that, and that's a 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 this, and that, and that's this, and that's that, and that's. She was like, this was the most smartest baby our entire family ever seen. So then she said she sat me down one day, and my mama, she was telling me this on the phone after she bought the book. I was getting lore in my life. Like, I would have never gotten all of these stories until she bought the book and seen my son actually did it. He followed through. And she like, because the way she was looking at it, because put yourself in her shoes, the way my mother was looking at it, my mother was like, God, I did my deal. I completed my mission. My boy that I told you I was going to give to you, he did it. I did it. So then my mother, she said she sat down and she told me to come and she was like, listen, boy, now that you're talking, talk about something that's important. And then she said, I asked her, well, what do you mean? And she said, well, like, like the weather, what's on the news, some new information that no one heard before. And then she said, after I told her that, or after she told me that, talk about, well, what do you mean? What should I talk about? Talk about the news, the weather, some new information, something new that you've learned. That's what you should be talking about. She said, after that day, it was like the most genius challenge that she's ever seen. It was like the gears in my brain turned. It was like, if she didn't say that sentence, my life would have went a complete different way. Because I, as a kid, took what she said as law. And then she was like, the next time me and her spoke, it was like the most knowledgeable human being about everything. I learned this today, and this today, and this, and this, and that, and this, and this, and this. And then my mom said, no, you have to understand. Baby, you have to understand. We got a call from the kindergarten school. And they told us to take you out to school, to take your kid, to pick you up. And we was like, why? And she said, kindergarten said, you're too smart. And I told him, I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. Because I was always wondering why I don't have like core childhood memories about like scores and stuff. I was always wondering. I only got like one memory of, and it's a very core memory of me being in the lunchroom doing like art. She was like, yes, because you got kicked out of kindergarten because you were too smart. Because anytime the teachers would try to teach something to the kids, I, as the student, would challenge the teacher. And say, well, how is that? Because this. So I was being, quote unquote, disruptive because I was too smart. That deep. My mother was like, yeah, you got kicked out of kindergarten for being too smart. So then she was like, so when you were having issues at school later on in like junior high and college and all of that, she was like, I knew it was only because the information that is being presented is not stimulating you because you know it's lies. So that's why my mother was like, she always gave me a pass when it came to school because she knows who her kid is. And when I was thinking about my life, I was like, you know what? I got like pulled out of school, suspended, and all of this, and I've really never got in trouble for being suspended. You were right. You've never punished me for being suspended at school. She was like, yes, because I know you're a genius. And this all happened, all of this knowledge, because my mother bought the book. So then when we fast forward, and of course watch our Christ Adventure videos, the 4 parts, Christ Adventures part 1 through 4, so you can get this whole story. So when I got targeted by these beings, around 15, 16 years old, so that's 2016, 2017, and they told me they target the ones that could be another Messiah. They came in real life and physicality. And my mother, when everything was happening and we was in the hallway, and she was like, baby, they're outside. I know. Yes, this is real. She was like, the jig is up. This is real. And my mother, like, literally, I will never forget it. She was like, this happened to me when I was a kid too. This is why I left my gifts, but I see God pass it down to my children. She was like, Nadiie, I'm either going to have to take you to a psychiatric hospital or you're going to have to go out there and fight. It's real. Just really understand who I am. When I'm giving you this knowledge, when I'm telling you, go click the link in the bio, buy our one and only ebook, God's Plan for Humanity, A Message from the Mountaintop, literal enlightenment in 3 days. It's not even a book, it's a so-called book. When you read it, you understand. It's the truth. There isn't anything upon this planet that matches that frequency. Because I am the way, literally. The new Christ. When I'm telling you, when the astral world and Yeshua, aka Jesus Christ, selected me to be the mentee and asked me, do I want to start the Christ trials? And I scored higher than him. They said I got the highest score in Call of Duty, the call to duty. I'm greater than even Jesus. Because he mentored me. He was the only reason I was able to even take the Christ trials. Because you can only take the Christ trials through another Christ. It's a passing of a baton. This ain't no bullshit. My entire life, I've been this way. And I got all this lore on my life when my mother was the first purchaser of this book. And go read the testimony. Well, read what she said. So it all will come full circle. I got many posts on my page about God's Plan for Humanity. And it's always the same looping of those testimonies. The first one is my mother. Just when you see the mother one, press pause and read what she said. So it all comes full circle. That's precisely why I'm looking at people like, do you even know who you're talking to? That's why Yeshua, aka Jesus, in all of these verses. You can just many verses from Yeshua where he's talking to the people and they're doubting and everything. He's like, do you even know who you're talking to? Do you even know who I am? This is why it's like incredibly important. And you know, I'm gonna save this live. I'm gonna clip this live so I can have this story, so I can post it. I might even have to put funding and money behind this story just so y'all can know I really am the Christ. As are you, for we are one. I really am the way. As are you, for we are one. I really am this. God embodied. Not the second coming of anybody, the first coming of Nadiie, the new Christ. And Yeshua is so wonderful, even in their own scriptures. He has a prophecy for humans, John 14:12. Truly I tell you, those that believe in me will do the works that I've been doing and even greater things than these, for I'm going to the Father. He called himself the way like I do because fuck the flesh. This is precisely why he says, of the flesh I am nothing. Of the flesh I am nothing means fuck my name, fuck everything about the flesh. Go in the direction, the way. If anybody is leading you to God, the direction matters more than fucking fame and fortune. I live this way from birth to transcension. Literally. And my mama had to tell me. When I was 1, I had a near-death experience. This is why I got this right here. When I was 1, little big-headed boy with an afro. I had Bob the Builder tools. I vividly remember watching Bob the Builder. I loved Bob the Builder. My mama said I was in the bathroom under the sink with my Bob the Builder tools trying to fix the sink. Somehow cracked my head open, blood squirting everywhere. And that was my first time tasting what they would call death. Later found out that was one of the reasons why I was able to enter the spirit realm so easily. Then it happened again right here when I was younger. When I was in my teenage years when this one happened. So it happened again. And then this one, when this one happened, I was literally gone. I fully separated out my body. And then I heard a voice saying, if you don't want to go back to the vessel, we're going to send another soul to complete the mission because the vessel was too important. So I was like, no, I'm coming back to my body. Literally heard that. So when I tell people, do you even know who you're talking to? I'm being serious. So when I'm telling you, may you please go support us. May you please support yourself. Go click the link in the bio and borrow one and only ebook, God's Plan for Humanity, a message from the mountaintop. Literally, it changes your life. When I'm showing you I'm enlightening people in 3 days, literally, this is what I do. When I tell you from birth to transcension, I've been this way my entire life. Literally, go look at the testimonies and so you see my own mama. The lady that birthed me out her coochie. See what she says. Our entire family is like this. I really am the one. Ain't no TikTok teacher. There is not a single person on this internet that offers what I offers, does what I does, is what I is. That's just the truth. Just the truth. I don't do this for fortune and fame. I thought the internet was, quite frankly, retarded. I had to be convinced by my student Jeff Miller to even take my teachings online. Because I literally opened my home up to strangers and friends alike. All these other fake fucking spiritual people that y'all like to follow all the damn time. And when a real one come, people get fucking shook. When the real one come, people get shook. Oh, snaps. He's saying he's greater than Yeshua, and Yeshua was his mentor, and that's why, and he enlightens people and miracles, and he got targeted, and I thought they only target ones that are important, and he's saying all of this. This is all real. It's just my life. Real life. And it's not a matter of how many people join or whatever the case. One person is enough, which is me. That's what people don't understand. I really am a Christ. All of these teachings and videos and everything, that's what most people are cooked because they chase fucking fortune and fame too much. They think that I'm here for y'all. Fuck all of y'all. I'm here for me. I do these teachings for me. Because earth is a lot. Because I know who I am. When I'm going through what we would call going through it, I look at my own videos. I look at my own classes. I teach myself. And because God, the source, works in win-win scenarios, what I do for me benefits all. And I make sure of that. So I make it public. I've already proved that TikTok censors everything. I already made the video. If you don't know, then you're just cooked. Or you're new and we forgive you. Forgiveness always first. Truth equals perfect love equals absolute forgiveness. You get through to absolute forgiveness through truth and perfect love. You get to through perfect love through truth. You get to truth by denying lies. For example, when the literal one to come is in front of you, see me as I am and you see yourself. That's the difference. Because people have been so warped in this age. They think success is 1 million+ people. They think success is everybody dick writing you in the comments or saying this is the most deepest thing in the world or whatever the case. They think that's success. No, success is you waking up and being who you are. That's success. Success is you knowing in yourself and you denying the lie and speaking truth unto yourself and speaking truth unto all. That's success. Success is whether God the source gives you whatever you think the material is or not any material and you're still the same throughout it. That's success. People are so flawed. And that's why you have to forgive them. I don't do this for any of you. I don't care enough about you to lie to you. And even if I did, I'm too truthful to lie to you. YouTube showing me so much love out of nowhere, but it's really synchronistic. So it's really from somewhere. I've already shown all the videos of TikTok censoring and literally saying that I was nude on one of my lives. Literally, I already made that video. Literally said that I was nude, butt naked, booty butt naked, butthole out. They was like, we're restricting this live for public nudity. That's the type of censorship I go through, right? So I'm only here for me. And because God works in win-win scenarios, baby, I know there's a soul out here that's been waiting and seeking and praying, God, show me the way, send the truth, give me a sign, give me something. And then all of a sudden they found a way to stumble upon my life. A person that's either crazy enough or saying the truth, saying he enlightens people in 3 days and telling a story about his life, how from birth to transcension, he's been this way his entire life. And then for added proof on top of that, we went to his testimonies and there it was, the mother's testimony. The woman that raised him and birthed him, saying the same thing he's saying about himself. Would you look at that? So that's my story. And watch the Christ Adventure videos, y'all. Watch the Christ Adventure videos, part 1 through 4, so y'all can get the context of how I became the Christ. We're not going to go over it here. I already made those videos for that. This was just a story of my life, so you can get an understanding. We're going to conclude today's class with a divine statement in the native tongue of Siksika, because as you know, I'm also a medicine man of the tribe of Siksika, also representing all native tribes, so not just the tribe of Siksika, but I represent all native tribes because I'm the completer of the Warriors of the Rainbow Prophecy as well. And just so you know, it's imperative and extraordinarily important for you to have a divine statement in the native tongue. And also, just so you know, you may know them as, Native Indians or Native Americans or Blackfoot, but the Blackfeet Confederacy is comprised of 4 different tribes. You have Siksika, which is also the language of all 4. You have Pakani, Siksika and Pakani. Those are 2 tribes. The other 2, y'all go seek and find that out. I planted the seed already. Just, it's just some little history for you. But let's begin. Ayo ape Sasuke. Espamokenan. Na kaya sisinan. Na keki motsitsinan. Na kokamoto sanan. Nena nikista kitsika komemo. Oh tokena na pesasuke. Na kaika kimasanan. Ikanapi nistoapi akanistoa. Oh tokena na pesasuke. Nitsoatsamani nena nikista nah six kishon kokomikishon spokche nischix ke okets amoksoki niksokoex ayo apesasuke. Thank you. We are very grateful. We'll be sure to post this story time and class and promotion for our book on YouTube. To give me a few days. Be sure, if you want to get enlightened in 3 days, go click the link in our bio, go on our page, click the link in our bio, buy our one and only ebook titled God's Plan for Humanity, A Message from the Mountaintop. You see the testimony, you see the proof. Everything is there. I'm very, very grateful to be of service. Again, click the link in the bio and buy the one and only ebook, God's Plan for Humanity, A Message from the Mountaintop. It is the greatest purchase you will ever make in your entire life. It is not just a book, it's a so-called book. The greatest purchase you will ever make in your entire life. Ever make in your entire life. There's no purchase greater than this. It includes our legendary 3-day course that we taught all our students that enlighten them in 3 days, chapter 1, page 6 to be precise. So much more information though, so much wealth of information is there. So support the truth. Go click the link in the bio on our page, buy our one and only ebook, God's Plan for Humanity, A Message for the Mountaintop. If you're on YouTube, because it's going to be posted on YouTube, the link is going to be in the bio, the link is going to be in the comments. Click that link, leads to our link tree. You'll see it right there, God's Plan for Humanity, A Message for the Mountaintop. Invest in your soul spirit. Have you invested in your soul spirit the same way you invest in your hunger? Because that is what's going to allow us, God, the source, and all beings that's on your spirit team or whatever the case is, know that you truly seek, know that you're truly hungry for the knowledge, know that you truly thirst. This is real. Go on our page, look at the testimony, see what my mother said when this gets posted. You can see my story. Go watch our Christ Adventure videos. We've got a little giveaway over there. Christ Adventures part 1 through 4. I know TikTok, its platform is not built for what you think YouTube is built for, but if you scroll down, you will see Christ Adventures part 1 through 4. You can just go click the link above, go on our YouTube. You will see them there as well. Just go on YouTube, type in Nadiie Black's Guidance. You'll see us there as well. So you'll be able to easily find it. The opportunity is in front of you. So now, each and every one of you that's ever witnessed this, you can't go on the other side and say, God the source, why didn't you tell me? Because God the source is going to be like, no, I sent a Christ your way. You either seen it or you chose not to see it. So with that, we said we love you. I love you. And so